And going live, and I am live. Yeah, I'm getting everything set up here. Yeah. Hi, hey, welcome to March. Jeez. Um, March, which is, as I may have pointed out in the title of this video and post eventually, is coming in a bit like a lion. Damn, we had snow Thursday night, and it was cold last night. So, that wasn't nice. And now we've got snow on the ground again. Not a lot. It's really kind of like, here's an inch of snow. Here's an inch of snow. Yeah, it's just really some kind of annoying crap like that. And it makes it just slushy and cold and everything else. But yeah, it's March. We're out of Feb. First 2 months down, baby. And March is here. I'm drinking tea because I ran out of coffee filters. I have to go get some coffee filters here. Probably, maybe today. Maybe I'll see about getting some coffee filters today. Maybe. I don't know. I'm enjoying my tea. I really am. And I found out that my mermaid cup, one of my mermaid cups, I actually have like a couple, but one of my mermaid cups here, this actually holds more coffee than my Star Wars travel cup. But I don't want to put coffee in this because I don't want it to get all grungy and funky on the inside. I like to drink water out of it as well. I use my mermaid cups for water. Yeah. I wish on my day off I was a mermaid because every day for me is a day is pretty much a day off. Oh, geez. Yeah. Getting an applaud here from one of my friends. Lynette is watching me right now. She always comes in live to watch me. She tries to. What's happened? Well, I haven't heard anything back on the job front. So things are, it's that pucker up time of month again, where the next week is going to be like, okay, yeah, I haven't paid rent. I haven't paid my bills. And I haven't gotten my new debit card. I have to call my bank today and say, where the hell is my debit card? I'm actually transferring money from my bank account to the last remaining active credit card I have to be able to buy stuff. I mean, seriously. And I only have like $300 limit on that card, which is probably good because I'm only getting like $483 a month from my pension these days. I actually should cut back how much I'm having taken out in taxes. So I'd get like $500 a month. It's going to make a big difference. But yeah, I still get like $483 a month after taxes. And right now, that's all the income I have coming in, except for what some of you contribute through my coffee, which I thank you all for. And I will point out that if you'd like to kick in a few extra bucks to help out a struggling artist, I'd be more than happy to take them. And really, I've gotten a couple of suggestions on things I can do to earn a little cash on the side, and I'm looking into those right now. And one of the things I am looking into is the Patreon. And that goes hand in hand with, well, if I'm looking at a Patreon, I have to have something I need to deliver. And I'm actually thinking of a couple of stories that I could write. News stories, not novels. I want to keep it short. stuff that I could like put out in like a month, you know. So I'm thinking up on a couple of those. And this is something I could actually do because one of the things I should do this week is apply for Social Security. I should have done that last month, but I couldn't because of government shutdown due to that, as I call him, the dictator fluffer down in DC who had his little childish snit and decided he was going to shut down everything so he could get his wall. And he still isn't getting his wall, even with his emergency declaration. Yeah, it's kind of hard to claim we're in a state of emergency, and then right after that, you jet off to go play golf. Kind of diminishes the state of the national emergency. You know what I mean? Somebody get that asshole out of there. Somebody remove him. And now I want to see his SATs. I want to see his grades from Fordham University, because anytime you are threatening legal action not to have your grades released, yeah. You know, there's a lot of incompletes, F's, D's on those transcripts. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We know there are. Come on. Don't BS us. You know there are. So, yeah. Oh, boy. So much fun. So yeah, I'm thinking. I've been actually thinking up like a couple of plots for stories that I might want to write, and actually release them like a chapter by chapter basis through a Patreon, and see if I could garner any interest from there, and do a couple of other things. I've been looking into some stuff, and I have the reports and essays. We're talking. I got asked. Yeah, can you imagine the reports and essays from Fordham University? It's like, give us an essay on macroeconomics. There's money, lots of money, great money, the best money, huge money, and everything's all misspelled and shit. Yeah, and this is the thing. I have admitted that I've never been a really good speller because I have like this mild case of dyslexia. So spelling for me was always a pain in the ass. I could never get it down. I mean, there are words that I know I'm spelling them wrong, and I'll spell it out, and it's like, didn't you spell it exactly that same way the last time and it was wrong? And then, you type pass, and then the red underline comes up saying it's spelled wrong. It's like, even when you know the word is spelled wrong, you're sitting there looking at it and you're going, I think it's right. No, it's wrong. I've admitted that. I've admitted, I know I was tested and I had an IQ of over 140, which is genius level, low level genius. And I also admit I have not used my IQ. I have not used my intellect to the level it should have been used to. I didn't do well when I was in high school, and I actually graduated in lower third. A lot of that due to the fact that I just didn't do homework. I didn't. I was so bored with school that I just didn't do anything. I'd get home and just read my books and stuff. And I'd never turn in assignments, and I did barely like the minimum to get through classes. I really did. Psychological issues, boredom with school because of intelligence issues, stuff like that. I was a mess. And I flunked out of college the first time I went, so I have admitted all this yet. I don't care. Not like I'm ever going to run for office. Nobody would want me. Yeah. Nobody would want me. Nobody would vote for me. I could just see me in a debate and somebody would start saying something. I would just look at him and go, man, that's bullshit. It reminded me of, well, I used to watch The West Wing back when Sorkin was writing everything on acid. And they talked about, there was an episode or two where they talked about how the president, I can't think of his name right now, but Martin Sheen's character was coming up. And they were considering him for running for higher offices. And the guy who is basically one of his chief of staff had went to see him at a debate. It was actually a town hall. It wasn't a debate. And somebody in the town hall questioned him on a bill that he had passed, he had voted in favor of. And that didn't work out the way everybody wanted it to work out. And the guy who was thinking of supporting him, helping him go to higher office was like, oh my God, you guys got screwed. And Martin Sheen's character, he goes down and he goes, yeah, I blew it on that one. Yeah. And he says, yeah, it didn't turn out the way we thought it was going to turn out. And I blew it. I voted for it. And, yeah, I blew it. I shouldn't have voted for it. And that was what got this guy convinced that he's the sort of politician he wanted to support, because he was willing to own the fact that he screwed up. Which is something shithead in the White House nowadays. They like to talk about personal responsibility, except when it applies to them. But yeah, I would be the one. It's like, yeah, I screwed up. I blew that one. But look, here's the ones I didn't blow. Gotta outweigh the good and the bad. You're only human. And sometimes you're going to have to vote against shit because it's no good. This just sucks. I'm not voting for it. But like 80% of the people, 80% of the people in my district are wrong. I'm not voting for it. It sucks. It's bad. Yeah. Got to do that. So. What else? Jeez, writing, looking at stuff. I actually sat down with a friend yesterday. I went out to lunch for like the first time since December. And of course, my friend, she picked up lunch. I told her, I said, I can't spend a lot. So I got to go somewhere cheap. And she goes, I got it. Don't worry. So I had a hamburger and fries. It was like, $12. I think it was $15 total with iced tea, because she kept going, you gonna drink anything? And I said, no, I have a league event tonight. I'm not showing up. I can't show up drunk. I can't even show up having been drinking. And she was telling me a little bit about, she wants to write. She's got a story, but it's real difficult for her to get it out. And I was giving her some tips and advice on writing tools that she could use, ideas for how to go about writing. One really important one that I won't go into detail here, but it was one that I thought about, and it's like, this is probably why a lot of writers write this way, because of the subject matters they're getting into. So it was kind of productive. We sat and talked for about an hour and had a good time. And like she was saying, she wanted to get out of the house because she hadn't been out of the house in like 2 months, and I'm like the same way. I haven't been out of the house except to go to derby practice and buy groceries. I mean, that's it. Since the beginning of the year, it's just been derby and groceries, and I don't go anywhere else. I get up in the morning and I sit in the house all day. So, and then I go to bed at night. So, it was like, it was a good time. We got out. We did stuff. We talked, and I have not talked to other people about writing in a long time, and it was kind of refreshing, especially like when you're talking about someone who wants to write and you're giving them advice, and you're talking about different types of writing tools and different ways that you could put together a story or stories and interlink them. I tried to sell her on the idea of Shrivinger because I told her it sounds like the way you're setting up your narrative, you really are not good at setting up a linear narrative. So with Shrivinger, you can just write shit and then arrange it however you want it to print out. That's one of the things I like about it. You can write in a non-linear format and then format your story however you feel like formatting it afterwards. Yeah, it's a good thing. Now, I don't personally write that way, but I'm sure there are writers who do that. And there are a lot of writers out there who do write in a nonlinear sense. George R.R. Martin is probably one of the most famous. He doesn't write in a linear sense. He will write about characters, and then he will arrange the chapters in whatever shape and form he feels fit. I think the two guys who write the Expanse novels do something similar. Each of the writers, so there's two writers, it's not S.A. What is it? S.A. Corey is the writer. Now I gotta look it up. You're driving me crazy. James S.A. Corey is the one who is the name of the author on the Expanse novels. But James S.A. Corey is not a real person. That is a pseudonym. The actual writers are Daniel Abraham and Ty Franck. So, and they write similar to the way George R.R. Martin writes. One of the writers handles all the narrative for like a couple of different characters, and the other writer, he handles the narrative for these other characters. And then they said when they're done writing their chapters, they send them to each other so the other person can edit them. There you go. Yeah, so that's a pretty neat thing. But yeah, James S.A. Corey is really two people. So, and if you have Shrivinger, it's easy to do that stuff. Yeah, here I am. I'm pimping Shrivinger again. I will always pimp Shrivinger. It is one of my favorite writing tools. And it really has helped me in terms of writing, because I can remember when I wrote my first story, Kunilanik, in Word, and it was such a pain in the ass. It was. And then once I started writing Her Demonic Majesty in Shrivinger, which I did because I was able to get the beta version prior to 2011 NaNoWriMo. Once I did that, I was like, oh my God, this is a dream. This is a dream, baby. Yeah. Somebody even said you should use Shrivinger for blogging. And I think what they meant by that was you could write everything up in each individual text box and then just do a cut and paste to whatever blogging platform you're working on. I never really did try that. Probably I should have. That way, it would have actually made it easier to go back and find some of my blog posts, because I could do a search off of stuff based upon date. Whereas it's kind of a pain in the ass to do it on WordPress, especially when you have over 3,000 posts. Imagine how many how many posts would be out there right now if I was still like posting every day. I mean, just think about that. How many posts would be out there? Like 3,200 or so. So what's left? Let's see. Jobs and finance. Writing. Yeah. Is there anything else that goes on in my life that I usually segue into right about this time to Oh yeah, Derby. Yeah. Well, as you know, um, I mentioned this in the video I posted in the middle of the week that I am on a team. I am a member of the Blitz, and I had my first team practice on Monday. Last night I was out with my team during doing a. Sorry about that. We were doing a league event down in Lancaster, Lancaster, not Lancaster. I don't. I know my teammates give me all sorts of shit when I say Lancaster. They just look at me and they're like, "What did you just say?" I said Lancaster. That's how they pronounce it in England. We're not in England. Well, you guys pronounce it differently. So Lancaster. Lancaster. Okay. Lancaster. There you go. I got it. We were out in downtown Lancaster last night for First Friday. Harrisburg has what they call Third in the Burg. So every third Friday, they have like special events go on down here. Lancaster has what they call First Friday. So the first Friday of every month, they have special events going on downtown. We went downtown and we were handing out flyers and putting up, handing out tickets and stuff like that, because a week from today is our first bout of the season. And we are playing, the All-Stars are playing South Delaware. I have to look this up. I know. Cassidy, you should know all this already, right? I know. I'm so bad. The All-Stars, we always play double headers. So the All-Stars are playing the Southern Delaware Roller Derby, or Roller Girls, or Sodell Roller Girls. That's who we're playing. And then the Blitz is going to play the Jersey Shore Roller Girls, who I've actually seen us play them before. Back when I was not an us with Dutchland. It was before I was an us. I watched Dutchland play Jersey Shore Roller Girls. Yeah. So, and we do that. We always play double headers because we have two teams. Why not? And that's when we play at home, we always play double headers. When we go out on the road, we go to different locations. That's why it's called the travel team. Yeah. Let's see. Travel team. So travel teams go out on the road. And we already know our schedule. And it's, like I said, it's going to be pretty audacious this year. And then our home team, which plays in the last 3 months of the season, always plays at home. That's why they call it a home team. And usually we'll do a double header where the home team will play a game, and then there'll be like a mixer afterwards. And a lot of our players get involved in the mixer, so there you go. And that's usually where we invite players from other teams to come in, and it's like an open scrimmage. Well, it's a closed scrimmage kind of, but it's sort of like what we did at Battle of the Freshies, where you have players come in from all over, from all these various leagues. And they play together. So, and anyone who wants to be on the home team can be on the home team. And I know I will be on the home team. I will say, yeah, I want to be on the home team. But anyway, yeah, we were out doing that last night, getting stuff ready for the bout. Wednesday night we had practice. I did not go Thursday night. I have decided that Thursday is going to be my night off because I'm going Sunday and Monday. So I got back-to-back practices. And And then I got Wednesday. And I'm in a team chat now with players in my pack because we have different packs that we're working with. And the consensus among us was that we will be there for Sunday, Monday, and Wednesdays. Thursdays is probably going to be our night off, which it was this week for me. And I did my workouts. Thursday I've been doing a lot of planks. Only doing 30 seconds now. I'm going to work my way up. 30-second planks, but the last time I did planks on Thursday, I actually worked the interval up to where I did 7 sets of 30-second planks. And you can sit there and go, that doesn't sound like a lot. Some of you people get off your asses and do 30-second planks 7 times. And what I would do is I would do a 30-second plank, and then I would hit the timer again and let it rest for 30 seconds, and I go back and do another plank. So, that went on for basically 7 minutes. There you go. And today, after this is done, I will do my daily exercise. I counted yesterday. I walked 1.2 miles, which is about 7/10 of a kilometer yesterday. About 750 meters. But I counted that as this is my exercise for Friday. I walked 1.2 miles. I knew I was going to be out walking. So, yeah, we walked 1.2 miles yesterday, walking around downtown Lancaster. So that was my exercise for yesterday. And today what I'm thinking of doing is squats, planks, and what they call side skates. Side skates with a hop, which I'm going to show you what it looks like. Yeah. Side skate with a hop is you're like this, and you go hop, 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 hop. You do 15 or so of those on each leg 20 times. And then you do like 3 or 4 sets of those. Yeah, those are actually good for your stability, which is something I need to work on. It's something everyone needs to work on. I mean, we're moving quickly and getting hit on skates. Stability is something you need. Yeah. So I've been taking the advice of working on my core and working on my stability. And like that exercise, that's going to strengthen my hip flexors and my knees. Really, I need strengthen my knees. And also your ankles. But it's also really cardio intensive. I mean, you do 15 of those, like hop, hop 1, hop, hop 2, hop, hop 3. Do that 15 times or 20 times. I'm going to try to do 20 times today, and I'm going to do 3 repetitions, which works out to, 60 boink hops, each time. Do that. This is the sort of stuff I've actually been doing. And then after I'm done with that, I will post my Sunday to Saturday on, I have a group on Facebook where it's an accountability. It's for accountability of saying this is what we did during the week. So, you can go back and look at it. And like I said, because I am on the travel team now, this is a mandatory thing. I signed a contract that basically said I will do this every day. I'm going to engage in some kind of exercise every day so that I'll get stronger. I don't usually do this on the days of practice. And since I'm doing 3 days of practice, it's like, here's my practice. So, we got 2 hours of practice. We're working our butts off there. And then basically when I get stronger, I can do some stuff like before practice, like do 20 squats, do that 3 times, do like 60 squats before you go to practice, hours before you go to practice, but still. Eventually I'll get there. I'm working my way up. And even like last night, I had a friend tell me, I told her, I said, I walked 1.2 miles last night. And she said, how are you feeling? And I said, I actually feel pretty good. My legs didn't hurt, which is a testimony to the fact that the muscles there have strengthened up enough that, just walking a mile did nothing to them. I didn't have any like fatigue or anything like that. So she was like, oh, that's good. It's good to hear. But interesting thing happened. Like I said, next Saturday is our first bout, and I am actually going to be filming at our bout. It is something that I've done before. And in fact, I even have one of the tots. I talked to the people who handle bout production. And I said, I'd like to get a tot to shadow me. So I have a tot. I have to reconfirm that she's doing this so I can send it off to bout production and say, this tot is going to be shadowing me. Because I'm going to teach her how to, film a bout. Film it the way I film it, which I think I do a pretty good job filming. I've actually been filming since June of 2017. When I first went with Hard to Youngstown, Ohio, that was an interesting trip. Yeah, it was a travel team. But anyway, yeah, I even went over, and it was like funny. I come over and I said, "Could I talk to your tots?" I was being, like I asked the tot coach. I says, "May I address the tots?" And I said, "Who's going to be here for the bout? And if you're going to be here, who would like to learn how to film a bout?" And one woman put up her hand right away, and I said, "Okay, you're going to shadow me. I will set it up, and you will shadow me, and I'll teach you how to film a bout." So. And I was telling people, I said, the reason I'm doing this is because eventually I'm going to start playing. And I want someone to know how to do this, because I have like a level of expertise that I employ when I'm filming. And I want to try to pass that along to another player. And I'll let her know, once you've done this a while, when it comes time for you to play, when it comes time for you to pass this along to someone, then they will know how to do it. You'll be out there playing, they'll be filming you, and so forth and so on. I look at it as like, this is a way of paying forward how we do something and making certain it gets done how I would feel would be the right way. So I will teach her that. And like I said, this is for when I start playing. I will, she'll know what to do. Well, so Thursday night I'm online. Okay, there's a surprise. I'm actually on the computer online talking to people. Wow. Yeah. And I had been watching, lately I've been watching a lot of TCM. I've been watching TCM now. So I've been going back and watching like a lot of the old Oscar movies and stuff like that. Tomorrow ends the 31 Days of Oscar. So all the stuff they've been showing is like all Oscar nominated Oscar winners and stuff. And I've been watching a lot of that of late, particularly watching movies that I've never seen before. Like last couple of days, I watched The Great White Hope, and I watched Somebody Up There Likes Me, 2 boxing movies that I had, I'd heard about them, but I had never seen them. This is, and it's a good opportunity to go back. And it's like, there were these films in the 70s and the 80s that I never saw. And why not watch them? I also watched The Dispossessed because it's Martin Scorsese, and I love anything that Marty does. Pretty much. He's one of those guys. He's like my Stanley Kubrick in a way. I don't think he's ever done a bad movie. Whereas with Stanley, it is debatable. But I don't think Marty's ever done a bad movie. So anyway, I get online and I'm talking and I'm telling, talking some shit with one of my friends. And I go, I should go over and check the forum, because we have a forum away from Facebook where we do all our derby business. Dutchland does. Which is actually a good thing, because it's, there's no drama, there's no distractions. You have to go over there when you're reading through the threads. It's no nonsense. You keep it simple. Like I said, it's all derby business. I said, I haven't been on the forum all day. Let me go over and check some stuff. Okay. So I go over, and usually you can see like when new posts have come up, and around sometime that evening while I was watching movies, they posted the roster. They made an update to the roster post for our bout next Saturday. So I go out and take a look at it, because anytime I see like, new posts today just happened, stuff like that, I always go and check everything. Scroll down and they go, here is our roster for the bout. And we already know that, we're wearing black. So I would have to, I've already got my jersey turned inside out to black, And so it's like, okay, here's the all-star roster, here's the blitz roster. I was like, okay, I got to check this out. So I scroll down real fast to the blitz, and I go right to the bottom because the alternates are at the bottom. And I see the alternate names, and neither one of them are mine. Okay, so right there, it's like, okay, you're not being considered for one of the alternates. That's cool. I don't care. I didn't expect that to happen. Like I said, I just made like a week ago. So I was like, that's cool. That's cool. So I decided I'll check to see who's actually playing. And I had a pretty good idea who was playing. And I'm scrolling down and I'm looking at the names and I'm like, yeah, I know them. Yeah. And I get almost to the bottom. And I see on the roster, Nomi Snarks, number 882, on the roster to be on the bench, which was completely unexpected. Now, there were 14 people. We have our team. I know how many people we have on our roster. And I can understand when looking at it what actually is going on there. But I was like, I went over and I told my friend, I go, you're not going to believe this. And I told her, I said, I'm on the roster. I'm actually going to gear up and I'll be on the bench. Now, I probably won't get a lot of playing time. I may not get any playing time. But I'm on the roster. This is legit. This is actually, it's one of those where I'll be sitting there. And for most of the night, I probably will. Most of the night, I probably will be watching the bout, watching everybody playing. And then maybe once or twice I'll hear, Nomi, you're going in with this pack. That's like, okay. And then I'll get my chance. So tomorrow, when I go to practice, I have to tell Erica, by the way, guess what? I have to tell the person who's shadowing me, it's like, guess what? You're filming by yourself. You better pay attention. I will let her know. It's like, okay, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to have to abandon you the second half. Now, maybe they won't have her film. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I went to bed that night and it took me a bit to fall asleep because I was like, I really can't believe all this shit is happening to me. And it's all happened in like a month period. I mean, seriously. Let me get up my calendar here. So, I mean, like, I passed all my Tier 3 assessments on January 20th, which meant that I was done, almost done being a tot. It allowed them to say to the Women Flat Track Derby Association that I had passed all my minimum skills requirements. And then I had my first practice scrimmage on the 30th, which was a week and a half later. And that was the practice scrimmage prior to doing the actual scrimmage where I would, be tested to see if I was eligible to, be cleared for scrimmaging. So February the 6th, I had my scrimmage assessment. And on February the 7th, I was cleared for scrimmaging. And then a week and a half later, the 17th, 10 days later, I'm playing in Battle of the Freshies. And then on February 18th, the very next night, I'm going through a test assessment. And on the 24th, I was given the results of those assessments. And I was told, you're on the blitz. If you want it, you'll be on as an alternate. And I'm like, yeah, I'm taking it. And now here I am, a week to go, after essentially being on the team for not even like a couple of weeks, just short of a couple of weeks. And I will be on the bench. Possibly, getting into play in a couple of jams. It's all gone really, really fast. And it's not that I don't think I can't do it. I think it's more like it's taking me about a week to process everything. It really is. It really is kind of taking time for me to process and go, man, I cannot believe this is actually happening to me. But like my friend Lynette, she said, don't belittle yourself. You worked to get here. You worked hard to get here. And I know you'll work hard to play well. So, any opportunity I get to go out and play, I will do my damnedest. Because as I told other people, as an alternate, the only place you have to go is up. Really. That's it, And if you get a chance to go out and play your best so you can prove to coaching that, yes, I can handle this. And maybe some point down the line, you won't be considered an alternate anymore. It was like we were told early on in tot practice. Everything is a test. Everything with our league is a test. You're tested at 3 different intervals as a tot to determine whether you move on and to determine how well, you determine whether you can move on. And then you're tested for scrimmaging to see if you're actually going to be able to play. And then once you do that, you're tested to see if you can get onto a team, to see if you're actually good enough to play on a team. And in my case, I was. And I was set up as an alternate because, my score was really not that high. As I pointed out, I had a low end score, and I'm set up as an alternate, which is fine because I get to still work out with the team. I get to work out with my pack. So I get to learn all these moves. I get to develop myself. I get to better myself. And now I'm being moved on to the bench for this bout. And maybe, again, like I said, this is your chance to, as an alternate, if you get a chance to play, show, that you can actually do the job, that you can play. And you're going to be tested there. People are going to watch your performance. Are you good enough to do this stuff? And if you are, maybe you'll move off the alternate list and you'll be considered part of the rotating roster list. At which point, if you start getting rotated into the roster for more and more bouts, now you're going to be tested to see if you can get more playing time, to see if you can go out there and instead of playing in 1 or 2 jams, you go out and play maybe every 6th jam. And then after that, maybe every 3rd jam, maybe every other jam. Stuff like that. And eventually you get to the point where for a team assessment, because we have to go through assessment every year. I already saw that happen. Players go through assessments every year. I'll have to go through another assessment next year. But maybe next year, instead of saying I want to play on the Blitz, I might go, I want to take a shot at the All-Stars. Then you get assessed for the All-Stars, which is a much higher level of play. It's all testing. It's all pushing yourself, actually. I mean, if there's one thing I have noticed with my league, with DDR, it's that they don't want you to fail. They don't. They want you to push yourself to get better, but they want you to succeed. That was one of the things I said during my team assessment. I know nobody wants me to fail. And one of the reasons we have all these assessments is because they don't want to throw you into a situation where you can't handle it. I mean, we did one scrimmage with another team, and some of those girls come at you pretty hard. Some of our girls come at you pretty hard. It's like, can you handle them? We don't want to throw you into a situation and then have you get bowled over every time you take a hit. They're looking out for your safety. They're also looking out for the safety of the other players too, because you may do something that could cause another player to get hurt. And they don't want you doing that. It's possible. I mean, one of the things we always say in Derby is it's not a matter of if you get hurt, it's when. And eventually, my list of injuries is insignificant, but I've already broke 2 ribs. And that wasn't even playing. That was from Derby practice. I broke 2 ribs. And I've had issues with my knees. I've had an issue where I tore the planitia on the bottom of one of my feet and was off skates for 3 weeks. So, and I have had the various aches and pains and bruises. I got a nice bruise here. Probably can't see that. Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah, see that? Yeah, that was a kiss from Kiss. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang. I think she did that to me. Yeah, I'm pretty certain she did that to me. Kiss, kiss, bang, bang. One of my teammates on the Blitz. Yeah, it's all testing. It's all pushing yourself. But like I said, DDR is really good in that they want you to succeed. They want you to push yourself to succeed. But at the same time, they want to help you succeed as well. Because as we were told early on in Todd practice, I'm the future of DDR. I'm part of the future of DDR. Because without people like me, there won't be a team in the future. Maybe I'll have 4 or 5 seasons of play. And in that time, I'm certain a few of the players that I'm playing with now are going to step away. They're going to retire, or they're going to take time off or something like that. It's bound to happen because that's how Derby is. I would feel fortunate if I could get 4 or 5 seasons of play in. Because at this rate, 5 seasons of play, I would be 66, almost 67 when I stop playing. And there are players out there in their 60s and even their 70s. I remember somebody telling me that on their home team, they had a 70-year-old woman who was on their home team. She had just gotten off the travel team and was now doing the home team because she felt at 70 years of age, she couldn't do all the traveling she wanted to do. So there are people my age that play. But, that it's possible. I mean, next season, I could see a couple of my teammates saying, I'm ready to step away from the game for a while. And the new tots coming up are going to come in and fill spots. That's why we have this program. That's why we go through and we train people to step in. I'm basically the future of the team, part of the future of the team. And if I don't succeed, there won't be a team in the future. And this is why all the teams have these recruitments, because this is how they get their players. So they want you to survive. They want you to not survive. They want you to succeed because there won't be a team if you don't. And, at some point I'm going to be a vet, and I'll look back and I'll go, oh, yeah. I remember when I was brand new for like a year and 9 months. Yeah. So, I'll be on a team. I'll be playing. Now, whether I will actually play is another story. I may get in, like I said, I may get in for 1 or 2 jams, and that's fine. I would be happy. I would be scared. I probably will. That's the thing. You always talk about how nervous you are. And when I did Battle of the Freshies, I was nervous. I mean, I had nerves that day when I woke up. I had nerves going down. I had nerves even getting geared up. And then it was like the moment you're on the track, boom, you get into position and your training takes over. It really is true. You don't think it's going to be like that, but all of a sudden it was like, okay, I'm cool. I know what to do at this point. And I would probably be the same way. I'm going to be like nerve-wracked most of Saturday. And I will do a video next Saturday, of course, about day. And I probably am going to be nervous. I will probably be nervous all through the bout up to the point where I go, I got to go gear up. I'll talk to you later. But it's going to be like the moment you're on the track and you're skating around and you're warming up and you're doing a couple of drills, it's just going to be like training. This is what I train for. And you always see these movies where it's like, remember your training, you will get through this. Of course, that didn't work too well in Starship Troopers. But then again, they didn't know what they were training for. But it is true. That happened at Battle of the Freshies. It's just like you remember your training. You get in a line, you get down, you get low, you get braced, and you just do your thing because you know what's going to happen. If the jammer comes towards you, you get in front of her. And it'll be the same way. If I get to go out for a jam or two next week, it'll be like you get down, you get in front of the jammer, you do your best to stop her. And if you stop her well enough, she's going to go somewhere else to try to break through the wall. That's the thing. She's going to go somewhere else and try to break through the wall if she can't get past you. That's the whole idea. You just remember your training. And I've had plenty of training at this point. So then it's a matter of how well do you do? How well do you remember that training, and how well do you put it into practice? And that's what I have to do. And one other thing, I'm going to bring this up. Yeah, I know. Cassidy should have brought this up ahead of time. Tournaments. Yeah, the Women's Flat Track Association, Derby Association, announced our tournament schedule for 2019. I mean, they've already got it set up. And the tournament schedule they basically go through this whole process of setting up playoffs and setting up the championships. And for the first time this year, our championship is actually going to be held outside the country. It's going to be held in Montreal, Canada, but it'll be outside the country for the first time. And we have two playoffs. They're international playoffs. And one is in September 6th through the 8th, and that'll be held down in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And then the following weekend, 13th through the 15th, there will be a playoff in Seattle, Washington. And then on November 15th and 17th, there will be the international championships, which will be held in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. At which point, all of the teams that have made it through playoffs and whatnot will come to Montreal and play for the Hydra. That's our championship. And prior to that, they have what they call the Continental Cup. And the Continental Cups are held internationally. But they have a couple of them held in the United States. And the idea behind the Continental Cups is they're used to determine who is going to make the cut to go to the playoffs. I mean, that's what they do it for. It's determine who is going to go to the playoffs, because you've got so many teams playing that, you can't have them all come for a weekend at either North Carolina or in Seattle, Washington. So they have the pre-cuts. They have continental cuts. They assign each team to a region. And the regions are North America West, North America East, and Europe. And Europe is generally where the teams from like Australia and New Zealand, if they're coming up, they will go to Europe and play. That's how it's generally worked before in the past. So every team is assigned a region that they're going to work out of. And that's the Continental Cup that they will go to determine whether they've made the cut to go to the international playoff. And then the cut at the international playoff determines who goes to the finals. So they announced all this the other day. Europe is having their Continental Cup October 5th and 6th in Helsinki, Finland. And that's being hosted because all of these Continental Cups, all the international playoffs, and even the international championship are all being hosted by particular derby teams. So in this case, the European Continental Cup is being hosted by KLO Rolling Rainbow, which is probably the derby club that is the derby team that is in Helsinki, Finland. The North America West Continental Cup is actually going to be held 2 months earlier, August 9th and 11th, 9th through 11th in Orem, Utah. And that is going to be hosted by the Happy Valley Derby Darlings. I love that. Hey, Happy Valley Derby Darlings. Hi there. Yeah, Happy Derby Darling. Yeah. So they will be handling all of the termination for the cutoffs for all the teams that have been assigned to North America West, which means it's going to be a busy time. And North America East is going to be held August 23rd through the 25th. And the North America East Continental Cup is going to be held in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And it's going to be hosted by the Dutchland Derby Rollers. This is something that was in the works prior to my joining the league, and something that we've all known about for some time. And something that, we were aware of, that we had a good chance of being picked. And we did. We're hosting the Continental Cup for North America East at the end of August of this year, and we are going to host that. And what does that mean for us? It means a lot of exposure. It means Lancaster is, for that weekend, they're going to be an important spot on the Derby map. And it also means for league members of Dutchland, we could find ourselves being pretty busy that weekend. Yeah. Pretty busy. I would expect that nearly every league member is going to have something to do that weekend. Because this is a big deal for us. I mean, come on. We're hosting a tournament. We're hosting it. It's a big deal. And so, I intend to be with the team if I'm not homeless by that time. I intend to be with there, and I'll probably be doing my part to ensure that all these teams coming from different parts of the country enjoy their stay in Lancaster, and that their tournament progress goes smoothly. Who knows? Maybe I'll end up being a liaison, getting teams ready. Or maybe I'll be a tape girl, laying down tape, because you got to repair the track every so often. But that would be fine. That would be cool as hell. Be a tape girl. Walking around with bits of tape attached to my thighs, and then I got to repair the track, Yeah, but yeah, end of August, we're going to host a tournament. This is going to be a big deal for us. A huge deal. I mean, really, literally, this is a big deal for us. So, man, it's just all coming together so fast. And then pretty much as soon as that's done, home team starts getting together and starts playing. So, see where it goes. It's going well. So, yeah, that's my news. I didn't think I was going to go a full hour. Jesus, I'm over an hour now. I get talky when I start talking about Derby. But next week will be out day for me. Yeah, I will be out here. Probably being nervous as hell. I will be out here being nervous as hell next Saturday. So I will see you then. It's going to be fun. Take care and have a good weekend. Bye.